Why would someone so undeserving live a life of luxury while I was left with nothing but dirty rags and aching hands? I was a good person, a kind person. I worked hard. I cared for our child as if she were my own. I deserved better. I deserved all of it. What she has. The first time I walked into Madame's room, I was overwhelmed by the luxury that hit me. The room was large, much larger than the tiny space Samuel and I shared in the servants' quarters. Everything was perfectly arranged. The bed spread smooth, the curtains heavy and expensive, the vanity crowded with bottles of perfumes and creams that I couldn't even pronounce. Not to mention the gold jewelry that gleamed out of her half-open jewelry case. The beautiful human hair wigs that hung on a row of doll heads on her top chest, and the sophisticated shoes in her tall shoe rack. And even today, my upteenth time in the room, it awed me still. I was there to clean, to dust and tidy, but my hands lingered on her things, my fingers brushing against the smooth surface of her jewelry box, the soft fabric of her clothes. I opened her closet, running my hands over the rows of dresses, each one more beautiful than the last. I could picture myself in them, how sexy I would look. I could already imagine the look my husband Samuel would wear if he sees me in one of those nice clothes with wigs and shoes to match. And the gold. Imagine how much just one of these chains them go be, I mused to myself. Mercy, leave that thing you're doing in there and come pick up Tenny. She's awake. Madame's voice cut into my dreamy state. Yes, Madame. She was cold, standoffish, always too busy with her own life to appreciate what she had. A lazy woman, I say. She never cared for her things, not like I would. She never even cared for her own child, little Tenny, who spent more time with me than with her own mother. When not away at work or some social event, Madame would be engrossed with her phone or laptop, barely glancing at her 2-year-old daughter, while I stayed behind to soothe Tenny's tears, to hold her close and to cater to almost all her needs. I didn't have a child of my own. God hasn't blessed me with one yet. Every month that passed without the sign of new life growing inside me was a reminder of what I lacked, of how life could be so unfair. I would see the way Madame looked at Tenny with a sort of distant obligation, and it would make my blood boil. She didn't deserve that little girl, not when there were good people like me who would give anything to have what she had. Tears welled up in my eyes as I stared at my reflection in the mirror, holding one of Madame's necklaces against the skin of my collar. It felt like a cruel joke from life. Here I was, a woman who loved children, who would have cherished a child like Tenny, but I have none of my own. Here I was, a hard-working woman who had successfully tried numerous trades before ending up as a maid, while Madame, lazy Madame, had a very good job. Madame, who treated her own flesh and blood like an afterthought, had everything. My hands trembled with a mix of envy and anger as I clutched the necklace tighter. Why would she have all this? Why would someone so undeserving live a life of luxury while I was left with nothing but dirty rags and aching hands? I was a good person, a kind person. I worked hard. I cared for our child as if she were my own. I deserved better. I deserved all of it. Mercy, why are you always so slow? Come on, carry Tenny. Madame's voice came calling again, this time angrier. I dropped the necklace, wiped my eyes, and rushed out of the room. The resentment in my heart continued to grow with every passing day. Every time Madame dismissed me with a wave of her hand, and every time Oga spoke to Samuel, my husband, who was also working there as a driver, like he was a fool, it fueled the hatred. I was the one who recommended Samuel for the job after his carpentry business collapsed, but I hated every moment I saw him bowing to and receiving orders from Madame and Oga, especially Madame, an ordinary woman, like he was nothing but a slave. And so, the idea began to form. At first, it was just a fleeting thought, a whisper in the back of my mind. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that it wasn't just possible, it was necessary. Then one night, I finally spoke the words out loud to Samuel as we lay in our small suffocating room. You know, say, all these things we Madam and Oga get fit be our own. My voice was barely more than a whisper. He turned round to face me with a confused look. Waiting, you mean? You never tire for all this our suffer? I don't tire. Me sef, I want to enjoy life like Madam. It go good make we to get this type of house. They drive their kind cars, get money for hand, get our own pikin. God go do am, said Samuel. God no go come down from heaven come do am. We need to help ourselves. I get one plan no. I paused and gripped his hand, staring into his eyes, my desire for this life that had been so far out of our reach, shining through my teary eyes. And I believe say he go work. Waiting you they talk about. Which plan? I didn't answer right away. Instead, I let the thoughts swirling wildly in my mind settle a bit. What if we could? Yes, I believed we could. For just once, we could force life to be fair to us. Take what was rightfully ours by force. I just needed to convince Samuel. I just needed to get him on the same page as I was. Shey you they forbid to be your God too, eh? You want to do yes sir for another man forever? I asked him. See how Oga they follow you talk the other day when you ask him for extra money? But he finally dashed me the money now. After he don't insult you, say you no get financial discipline, that thing pay me well. I began to sob. I don't tire for everything. I don't tire. We need to wise up and take our chance to make am for this life. And stop all this nonsense with them they do to us. I looked him hard in the face. Imagine how our life could be if now we get this house Samuel and those two motorway they outside. All this expensive property, gold, phones and money for their account. Imagine. And you know how to do this thing where I get from mind. You know hard. Now only them and us did this house. You get power pass Oga. I get power pass Madam. Just fit buy them. Take everything. Buy them, okay? Nobody go know. Them not to get family or friends where they come check them for house. But just be like say them travel go out of the country. Now we go they enjoy everything. I saw Samuel was still not buying into it, even with all my tears. So I switched into anger and emotional blackmail. You they do like say you no get courage, oh Sam. Now person will get courage fit they successful for this life. You they always tell me say you fit do anything to make me happy. But see small idea where I bring now, you they run. I don't tire. If you know fit do this one, make our life change. I don't tire for this marriage, oh. And that worked. But baby, this thing where you they ask for hard, shit them no go catch us. No worry, I get strong plan.